On this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly, the new athletic entrance and a Wildcat you should know. All this and more coming up next. Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. I'm your host, Ashley Robinson. The Neuqua Athletic entrance has a brand new look. Cameron has the story.
With our lives constantly changing as we start the new year, Neuqua decided to give the athletic entrance a new makeover. Here is another one of the many changes our school has gone through. Mr. Adkins has more information.
When you walk in through door 46, you're going to see two graphic images, one on the left and one on the right, that just kind of, it's a little bit eye-popping, and the way I feel is it kind of embraces you as you walk in. And then also on our ceiling tiles, we added a graphic, just a big letter N, and added some color. So it just gives a nice little touch when you walk in. And then on the display cases to the left, those had some other things that were in there prior, and now we're going to change them out to put it anything that's current. So then as you walk further to the right, you're going to see, I believe it's 10 frames. And then when you walk across from the main gym entrance, there's a large, it looks like a painted, it's a graphic, it's a large graphic, and it's just got single worded motivational terms that's good for whether it's for our athletes or PE and so forth.
Neuqua did an amazing job giving the athletic entrance a new look. Make sure you go check it out. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Cameron Singer.
Currito is a new restaurant that recently opened in the Naperville area with many menu options to choose from. Gianna has the details.
Opening on October 22nd of last year and located in the Naperville Crossings is Currito, a restaurant with some unique choices that can fulfill everyone's dietary goals and needs.
We have a really neat ingredients chart, and as well as all of our bowls and our greens and our smoothies. So on this chart, it lists a variety of different either allergies or things to stay away from. People have dietary restrictions. Some things on here are anything that has any of our bowls or grains that have dairy, eggs, gluten, peanuts, soy, tree nuts, as well as vegetarian and vegan options as well. So we can definitely accommodate any dietary restriction per se. Like I said, we're a little bit different. We're a globally inspired brand. So we have different flavors from, as far as our Mediterranean bowl, our Mediterranean flavors. The tikka I mentioned is an Indian inspired dish. We have some traditional flavors as well, like a classic bowl or a summer bowl. We have some Asian-inspired dishes, a spicy Thai salad, a teriyaki bowl, or a Bangkok wrap. So just a little bit different in that respect. I think it's worth a shot.
The Naperville location is the first restaurant with a drive-thru. Also with choices to eat inside, for curbside pickup with the website and app, or other delivery services like Grubhub, Uber Eats, and DoorDash. Due to these many options, Currito is willing to accommodate your current preferences. Be sure to visit Currito, and for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Gianna Potasic.
Many Wildcats have unique skills and talents that set them apart from the rest. Chris tells you all about a Wildcat you should know.
Former Wildcat Alexmonas is a professional soccer player for the Chicago Fire men's soccer team and has made many sacrifices in life in order to reach his potential.
Growing up, obviously soccer was a big part of my life, and along with that came a lot of sacrifices, missing parties, hanging out with friends, homecoming, stuff like that. I've played with the Chicago Fire Academy growing up, which had a pretty hectic schedule, and I also was going on trips with the U.S. national team, so I had to work around that as well. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it all helped me to get where I am today.
The hard work and sacrifice was all a part of the plan for Alexmonas to sign with the team he's been a part of growing up.
So the process, signing with the Chicago Fire was pretty unique for me. Obviously, signing at a pretty young age was different. And I had originally actually committed to play Division I soccer, but then I had gotten invited to preseason for about 6 weeks. And 3 weeks in, they had offered me a professional contract. So, everything since then has been great. I've learned a lot from the older guys and really developed my game a lot.
Best of luck to Alexmonas as he begins his first season with the Chicago Fire men's soccer team. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Chris Baumgartner.
With Dr. Fearer in just his second year here as principal at Neuqua Valley, there's still a lot that many Wildcats do not know about him. Dominic gives you our very first segment of Ask the Principal.
Welcome to the first ever edition of Ask the Principal. I'm Dominic Liacani, and joining me today is none other than Neuqua Valley's very own principal, Dr. Lance Fearer. Dr. Fearer, how are you doing today?
Dominic, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
We're here to ask you the hard-hitting questions to get to know yourself a little bit better. A lot of Wildcats may not know you that well. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Fire away.
So what some people may not know is that you've been a teacher, department chair, and assistant principal here at Neuqua before becoming our principal. When you look back at it, what was the journey like for you to get to this point?
It was very challenging. It was very exciting, very rewarding. My hope for everyone listening is that you find something in your life that brings you joy, that brings you passion, that brings you challenges where you don't always succeed, but you learn from when things don't go well. And that's been the story of I think, my journey through education.
Could you tell us a little bit more about yourself personally?
I grew up in Wheaton till about 8th grade. I moved into a new community, Naperville. I was a swimmer in high school, also swam competitively at college at the University of Missouri. Worked on the school newspaper at Naperville North. I pursued broadcast journalism. I actually did that also after graduation. So I worked for NBC News in broadcasting. I was an on-air reporter. And then I just had a change of heart. I shifted gears, decided education was something I wanted to give it a try. Was very lucky to student teach at Waubonsie, get hired there, moved to Neuqua Valley when we opened. And it's been just something, fantastic that I've been able to experience.
Being someone who's been with us since we've opened in 1997, what have you seen or noticed about the Neuqua Valley community that really makes it stand out?
I would say two things, but in this order. We have an outstanding faculty. Second thing, we have an incredibly supportive community. Those two things have remained consistent and constant. I would say one thing that has changed, and I'm glad that it has, is 25 years ago, schools were really fountains of knowledge. Students came here, you learned facts and figures and different things. Now school is really about an experience.
Before we end today's segment, we're going to do a rapid fire round. I have 10 rapid fire questions ready where I'll ask you the question, and then you have to give me an answer on the spot. Are you up for that?
Okay. I'm ready for it.
All right, let's do it. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is Jaws because the moment in my life that I saw it, I was thrilled by it.
Best Neuqua sporting event you've ever attended?
Wow. I would have to say any one of our state championships. Our girls swim team remains one of the best teams. I would put boys cross country close to it. But those swim meets are an incredible environment.
Your favorite restaurant to go out and eat with your family?
Lou Malnati's Pizza. They are obsessed. I love it too. I sometimes want more variety than they do. But I go along with it because it's good.
Your favorite DVC opponent to face?
Oh gosh, it's going to have to be the Warriors of Waubonsie Valley. We have a great, most of the time, healthy rivalry. But I'll give you a good example. I don't have much green in my wardrobe ever.
What was your first job?
My first job was a lifeguard at Crest Creek Country Club Pool in 1983, the summer of 1983.
Do you have a favorite emoji?
I would say lately it's been right to my head. That's the one.
What's your biggest fear?
As a swimmer, the only recurring dream I have is that my house fills up with water. I'm sure there's some deep psychological meaning behind that. I don't fear drowning, but I do fear some sort of weird fascination with being underwater for long periods of time.
Dogs or cats?
Cats.
What is your favorite band?
Def Leppard, only because the music you will listen to in high school will stick with you the rest of your life.
And finally, do you prefer blue or gold?
I am a fan of both, but I will say gold because so many other people answer blue.
That's going to do it for this first ever edition of Ask the Principal. Again, I want to thank my special guest, Dr. Fear. It was a pleasure having you on today.
Dominic, thank you so much. You're awesome. Appreciate it.
Again, thank you to Dr. Fear for joining us, and for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Dominic Liacani.
Thanks for watching this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. Have a great weekend, Wildcats!